This is Krystel Torres, Communications 120. We meet up classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 1:50 p.m. This is my persuasive speech, and we'll begin shortly. This good? Yeah? Okay. They say that mothers are about nurturing and giving love, and that fathers are to provide and to give tough love. Now, mothers are meant to be taught. Mothers are here to teach compassion, love, nurturing, and to know that a child is never alone, whereas a father always provides and gives food and puts a roof over our heads. But some children are just not as fortunate. Some children have only one person to be able to provide, or maybe there's only one person at home that has to give them loving and provide for them. Now, what ends up happening when those kinds of situations happen? What happens when mommy or daddy or mommy and daddy need a helping hand? Well, this is how welfare ends up helping us out, by giving a lending hand. So our lending hand is going to be welfare. What I want to talk about today is that welfare needs better regulation rules. I believe that there is a problem with our welfare system in regards to foster mothers, single parents, that are only trying to gain financial assistance by gaining children or having a child in their care. Now, what I want to discuss mainly about would be some regulations, child support, some loopholes that are used within our regulations that we have currently, and my solution to this corruption. What I want to start with is, if you did not know this, we've had an ongoing welfare war since 1964. In 1964, we had developed welfare programs that consisted of only 4% of our population. That 4% was only meant to assist, not to increase the rate of welfare. But if you compare the two from 1964 to 2014, our numbers have increased enormously. From 1964 having it for 4% to having 2012 40%, which from 2012 to 2000 now it probably has increased a few more rates. Another thing I wanted to give establishment on, I had looked into a book that was called the Welfare Data Book of July 2012. The regulations within this book states that as a mother, you are able to get financial assistance so long as you are a single parent and have at least one child within your jurisdiction, in your care. Now, there is special regulations and rules that you have to go under if it is both a mother and a father both trying to get welfare assistance, which involves having several tests and making sure that both parents are within the range that is in a lower income. So you have to meet a certain requirement of what is considered low income. Same thing with the single mother. You go through several tests evaluating only your income. Whereas for a teenager, if you are underage, you live at home, and you are pregnant, you have more of a capability to get welfare assistance, specifically if you still live at home with a parent. Within these regulations, there is loopholes. It does say that you can have more than one child at home. So is the society building an idea that by populating more and not doing any work, where the government is giving them free money. Whereas there is a stipulation within it that states you have to be shown that that you are putting in effort to look for a job. Now there is some people out there that are trying very hard, but in this economy it's just harder and harder to get a job. So the increase of welfare is just astoundingly increasing since there is no stopping to it. Now, the people that could really hurt from this kind of situation would be the taxpayers. Taxpayers are coming out of pocket every year to pay for assistance that an individual either possibly could have made a decision that was made too soon as a teenager and became pregnant, or some are just stuck in a hole and need assistance. This is like having a taxpayer putting in money into a company and putting in investment and having the investment not have a success rate, not having any results. Everything that's coming back is basically saying you need to stop your investment, but because of a taxpayer we have to continuously involve our money every year to assist someone that isn't employed and is working off basically the money that we have earned as employees of the United States, as good citizens doing our part. Another thing you have to imagine too is put even your own children or your significant other into this kind of situation. Imagine that your child is the one crying for help, saying that they're not getting the assistance that they need because some foster mothers or single mothers are actually taking advantage of the system and only showing proof that yes, they do have children in their care, but taking the money for themselves. Since even in the regulations there is nothing involving proof of what is being charged for the expenses of a child, or even showing proof physically that things are going the way they're supposed to. I propose my solution to this problem would be to create new jobs, to make more strict regulations onto what we already have in our regulation rules as of 2012 in July. Have more visits to children's home, the ones that are being taken care of by either a relative, a foster mother, a single parent. Let's make more visits versus doing it every couple of months. I also wanted to say is give a background check, give proof of these expenses that are being used for the children, and give some kind of printout to where you're getting the welfare checks from. And also, let's give drug tests. Every time that someone is accepting their welfare check, give a proof of your expenses and give a drug test. Now, my solution has never been used before. We have been stating about creating new jobs. Okay, so for this kind of situation, we want to create new jobs, which we need people to be able to earn their welfare. So for the welfare, we need people to get involved, earn their money. From then, we're creating a new system of people that want to be employers into a new system. So as far as giving proof of that and giving an ID and giving a drug test, we can bring in those people to get trained, and those can be our new employees for this new building. Now, I know that transportation would have to be a very big question, as far as how would these people get to this place, as far as getting from A to B and making sure that we get everything done. How about printing out paper? Some do not even have computers at home. And the drug tests are just regularly given. I see no real problem there. But as far as transportation, I can see that there's buses. You can take a bike. Another idea I had was having these new regulations put into the buildings of where they actually pick up the welfare checks. Let's make it less of a stress since everyone is already used to that route. Why not just bring in these regulations to where they pick up their checks? Now, let's make this beautiful new beginning to the end of welfare, and let's take change into our own hands. Help me spread my petition called The Rights of the Youth. Come help me sign my petition at Hesperia School District. You can reach me at my email, rightsofyouth2014t@hesperiadistrict.org, or by telephone 760-977-0075. Let's stop the corruption and take change into our own hands. For our country, for our children, for your own rights.